Hello everybody and welcome! At this point now, it's been long on the channel that I have discussed all these cards. I'll be honest, we're recording this on February 12th. I'm so far ahead in the YouTube schedule, but I know this might be a little bit late in terms of when it's come out compared to the release date of Hemlock Vale. But you guys enjoy Eric sharing their thoughts on these new cards, and honestly, I enjoy recording them with Eric. So, we're going to do that here. We're just going to scroll through, stop at some cards that I think are notably interesting to talk about. We might not get all of them. There might be another part to this as this goes. But this is Eric's first look at these other Hemlock Vale cards. So, we're going to start with Guardian, because that's just the color that's first. And some notable cards here. I think have you seen Ancestral Token?
I think we've talked about Ancestral Token before.
Right. Cleaning Kit, nice and simple. 3-cost asset, uses 3 supplies. Supplies on Cleaning Kit may be spent as if they were supplies on ammo or assets you control. And it takes up the accessory slot, so it hangs around your neck.
That's a really fun card, I have to say, especially for that slot for Guardian.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah, no, it's a cool card. And I think like anything that makes ammo easier to come by, especially at level 0, I think is a very powerful card.
Yeah.
It is a bit expensive. 3. There's a great deck that myself and other people are workshopping. There's a neutral weapon called the Ornate Bow, which you have to spend action to reload. You don't have to do that with Cleaning Kit. You can just fire a few shots, which actually I think is going to really make the Ornate Bow more consistent. We also have Katana here. A 4-cost, 2-hand slot weapon. As an action, you can fight. You get +2 fists for this attack. If you succeed by exactly 2, you may exhaust Katana to deal +2 damage for this attack. And as a lightning bolt, you can also exhaust Katana to fight. Use your foot instead of fist for this attack.
I don't like this card.
No, why not?
Doesn't deal a +1 damage base level. Yeah. And if it did a +1 damage base level, I would love this card. I'd put it on Kamani Jones anytime. But I don't want to succeed by exactly 2 to get +2 damage.
Yeah, it's a very janky weapon. I mean, I'm going to argue that I think that level 0 melee weapons should have been janky from the beginning of the game, but because they weren't, Katana is pretty not great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Compare that to, the baseball bat, which has a very notable downside at level 0. This one does too, but it's more expensive and I think just worse.
I've been struggling with the baseball bat recently. So.
The fight ability with the fist, the foot though, is a really fun ability.
That is a really fun ability. Cool. I just don't like that it's an exhaust.
Yeah, because you have to exhaust for both effects.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they always have to exhaust. Yeah, if this was just a limit once per round, I think it would actually have a notable improvement.
100%. Because at this point, I'm just fighting to use foot instead of fist for this attack. I can't get that +2 damage if I get exactly above 2.
Yeah.
So I am paying 4 resources to use my foot instead of my fist to do +0 damage.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah. This could have been cheaper. This could have been cost of 2, and I think people would play it more. I think it's just a bit too much.
Yeah.
All right. I think you've seen all these cards. I know you've seen the mask. You've seen most of these. Okay, this one I'm actually curious. So there's a new mechanic that they had last expansion in Scarlet Keys, but they're exploring a bit more, this double mechanic. So this is Task Force. So all these double cards, don't go there. Sit here, it's nice. They require an additional action to play. So Task Force. As additional cost to play Task Force, spend an action. 1 at a time in any order, choose an investigator location. 2, resolve an action ability on an asset they control without paying its action cost. Move to a connecting location, or discover a clue at their location.
That's way too strong. Holy cow. That's an incredible ability.
So yeah, basically you're giving up 2 actions and 2 resources to get an action. Like the Tesla's
3 actions.
But you're spending 2, so you're only really getting 1.
Yeah, it's true,
right?
it's true.
But the Tesla's clue in and of itself is kind of worth it, worth an action and a bit in and of itself, right?
Yeah.
What do you think of just this whole, how much do you think it needs to be worth it for you as a new player to spend 2 actions to do stuff?
2 actions and 2 resources to do stuff? So the reason why I'm going to say absolutely yes to this is because it also has the resolve the action ability on an asset they control without paying its action cost.
Yeah.
The sheer flexibility of that and some of the garbage you can probably combo off of that seems absolutely insane to me. So if I was playing a very support deck in a larger party group, I would absolutely play this.
Yeah.
If I'm not playing with someone who's going to have a lot of action abilities on their cards, I'm not going to play it. To me, it's that first one that really makes the decision. Move to a connecting location might actually be a bit of a weakness.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, like, I think it's one of those things where, like, this card is going to be at its peak if you can hit all three optimally.
Yes.
I think if you are not hitting all three optimally, you need to ask yourself, why am I putting this in my deck, right? But, like, there's Carson Sinclair the Butler. This is going to be a beautiful card in his deck.
He's exactly who I was thinking of for this.
Just a nice support card for sure.
And yeah, the free discover a clue, but again, yeah, that free resolve and ability on an asset they control without paying its cost.
I don't know if you'd be down for it, but you should build a flex deck, and I should bring a Carson deck, and we should try it. And we should see how good a 2-player Carson and a flex is.
I would love that.
I think that could be a fun thing to try out.
Like, one of the fun things I can see about Task Force is potentially allowing people to take out-of-sequence fight actions.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
That's the big win I see with this.
Yeah, and then also, like, if there's ever an action, like, as soon as, like, this is going to change, potentially, how you can, in a group dynamic, what an action on a, like, it changes, like, the quality of each action on a card, right?
Now, question 2, is the double action the same as a single action?
So it costs additional action to play, but it only counts as doing one action.
But what I mean is, like, so for a bunch of the hex cards that are, like, 2 actions to discard this card.
I see.
Does this count as 1 or 2?
So actually, all of them only count as 1. Even the double actions only count as 1 action.
So this could be a real big helper when you're in curse-heavy scenarios.
Potential. You can't actually, because those aren't assets they control. Those are treacheries.
Oh,
so you can't do those. You can't do those. And you still only reduce. So without paying its action cost, still only reduces 1 action. So you still will have to pay 2 for that kind of thing. Russ, we don't need to go near the monitors. Okay. All right. All right, you've seen most. I think we talked about. Have we talked about this guy?
Hey, cleaning kit's back.
Yeah, there's an upgraded version. So the upgraded version now 4 supplies, and when a supply is spent, you can exhaust it to give the performing investigator +2 for the test.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think this is one of the cards I'm most excited about. I know what you're trying to do, Russell. This is one of the ones I'm, like, most excited about, like, seeing in action, you know? I think it's going to be a really cool card, and I think there's going to be some good firearm builds you can do with it. Yeah. This is an upgraded version of a card we've had for a while, and I don't know if we talked about Strong Arm, but it's just another Vicious Blow. It's another Vicious Blow where you can protect it from the autofail a bit.
I love that for that card. Like, I really love it as a protect yourself from the autofail. I wish I had that right now. In a deck I can't play it in. Yeah.
No, you actually can play that.
I could have played it.
You could play it. Well, it's not out yet by the time we were building.
Yeah.
So you couldn't actually. That's actually the thing I think that's like gravy on top of it, but I just want more Vicious Blows. Unfortunately, it doesn't actually work for firearms, because firearms aren't ranged in this game. Does that also bother you?
That does. That really bothers me.
I mean, like, it's one of those things where everyone's like, but no, but Justin, like, a bow is a ranged weapon. And I'm like, a gun is today's bow. You know?
Wait, why do they argue that a bow...
Well, bow is a ranged weapon, but firearm isn't, because in this game, they're classified as different things. I understand in the game, they're classified as different, but like a firearm, we can all agree is a ranged weapon.
It is. And I guess the argument is that this guy is strong-armed, which having big muscles isn't going to help you shoot a gun better.
But, like, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Because I actually don't know. Do big muscles help you shoot a bow better?
Not really.
Yeah.
Like, you do need some amount of muscle strength.
But it's like it's more like finesse and dexterity, right?
Well, and it's more about posture and and actually your back muscles, quite a bit of it. If you're doing a larger bow.
We need strong backed.
Strong backed.
Which I think is in and of itself, the implication is too scary for me.
Please get in the comments, everyone who does bow and, HEMA, and just get at us.
All right. Russ. All right.
Russ is God.
It is. All right, so we got an upgraded Blessed Blade. This one's, I'll let you read it. I think it's a good card, but I think it's kind of boring. And we have this sick-ass Eyes of Velusia Blade of Yoth, which I'd rather talk about instead, but I'll let you read. Thank you, Russ.
Return each Blessed token before revealing Chaos tokens. You may exhaust Blessed Blade to add 2 Chaos tokens to the... Okay, Blessed Blade's really good.
Yeah, it's just really good.
It's just really good, but it's 4 experience.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty fairly cost for a melee weapon that always will do something good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's look at this Eyes of Illusion Blade of Yoth.
Yeah, so having just come out of Forgotten Age, this feels like an insult.
Yeah. All right.
And I'm here for it.
So, Eyes of Illusion, this is a 3 cost, 4 experience asset that takes up the hand slot and a spell slot. So as an action, you can parlay. Choose an enemy or location until the end of the round. Each investigator gets +1 skill value while fighting, evading, or parlaying with the chosen enemy. And then you place 1 resource on Eyes of Illusion as a charge. As a lightning bolt, you can search your bonded cards for Blade of Yoth and swap it with Eyes of Illusion, moving all charges from Eyes of Illusion to Blade of Yoth. Blade of Yoth still takes up the same slots, but as an action, you can spend 1 to 3 charges and fight. For this attack, you may use Brainless of the Fist. You get +2 skill value and deal +1 damage for each charge spent as part of this action's cost. As Lightning Bolt, swap your bonded cards, search your bonded cards for Eyes of Illusion and swap it with Blade of Yoth, discarding all charges.
I absolutely love this as a flex card. I absolutely love this. You could build an entire deck around this. I find this very fascinating. One question I have in general, though, is we're really moving into this, like, using other Ancient Ones to fight Ancient Ones kind of vibe with this weapon.
Yeah.
Like, I am 100%... I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, yeah.
I really like the parlay, actually. I could see an argument for building it and never, ever switching to Blade of Yoth, potentially, if you're on a flex. Because getting +1 skill value while fighting, evading, or parlaying could be really, really fun. That could actually make evade really, really effective.
So, 1 second.
Yeah.
So, I have to just read this card again. Choose an enemy at your location until the end of the round. Each investigator get +1 skill value while fighting, evade, or parlaying with the chosen enemy. Place 1 resource on Eyes of Illusion as a charge. So, there's no limit, right?
Yeah, no, so you parlay the same person 3 times.
Yeah, or just even if you just like parlay every enemy until they get to the final boss, you're probably going to be able to attack that final boss multiple times. As the flex, like you're saying, right? Like,
yeah.
This is your weapon, but you don't use it for the majority of the scenario, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't know if it's good, but I think, like, that's definitely, like, pretty sick. Because, I mean, like, let's say, for example, you go to the final boss, and you have 9 charges on this. You just, like, spend your 3 actions, spending 3 charges each time. You get +2 skill value and deal +1 damage, so you get +6 and +3 damage. So you're making 3 attacks that deal 4 damage, and you get +6 for.
Yeah.
Like, it requires a lot of, like, actions spent earlier.
But those actions spent earlier are also allowing you to do all sorts of fun things. So if you're in a larger multiplayer group, you are either helping the fighter fight, you're helping other people evade, you're helping other people parlay if they have a parlay deck, or if you're a parlay deck and you want to screw around with creatures. I can see Eyes of Volusia being a great tool.
And there's also that new Alessandra. She is the one who gets a free of parlay action each turn. She can play this card.
Yeah. This would be a lot of fun for her.
It could be.
I could absolutely see myself building a deck entirely around using this to either help people fight or evade. And just absolutely stacking the charges. Because the nice thing about evade, too, is if you evade a creature and then walk away and do your own thing, like if you parlay and then evade with that free action, so you've taken an evade at +1, so that's great. And then you can do whatever you want, and then next turn you can just spam the creature for more charges. Yeah.
It also allows you, I don't know, I mean, I'm interested. I think especially in Alessandra, I think you need, like, to really make this plan work, you need to either be, like, a support player, like you need to be Carson, and then you're like, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to go nuts in the final boss.
Yeah.
Or you need to be Alessandra to not be having to spend an action each turn to do it.
Absolutely.
All right. Flurry of Blows. This is a 2-cost 5 experience. Tactic double faded. Play only if you control a melee asset. Additional cost to play Flurry of Blows, spend an action. Fight. Choose a melee asset you control and take an immediate fight action with that asset without paying its action cost. You may repeat this effect up to 3 times after the final attack resolves if it is your turn and your turn.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. Hey, what's that Blade of Volusia? Is that a melee? Just out of question? Yeah,
yes,
it is.
It is.
Okay, sick. Yeah, so I can just pop off on my Blade of Yoth on the boss final turn.
Just go, yeah. Actually, parlay with him a few times beforehand too, right?
Yeah, why not?
Parlay with him once, then play this. Switch over, play this, and just go nuts.
Yeah.
And just start whacking.
Yeah. I think this is a fun ability. I think for 5, it's
a lot for 5.
It's a lot. I also will say I do not like thematically introducing something called Flurry of Blows to this game. This feels very ungrounded. I realize, and I'm being entirely judgmental here, in a game that has bloody knives that poison you if you don't use them, and spells that you cast to seal ancient ones. This is just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think the game has definitely embraced that pulp.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's very pulpy.
This is an extremely pulpy card.
Yeah. Yeah.
That said, I would absolutely run it.
Yeah,
I
mean, you mean you get Sister Mary with the spear that killed Jesus, and you just go freaking nuts. May the power of Christ compel you, and you, and you.
Okay, that is the most pulpy sentence I've ever heard. Yes, I love it.
Miracle Wish. This is X cost, 5 experience. Play after 1 or more blessed tokens revealed during a skill test at your location. Search your bonded cards for Evanescent Ascension and put into play. Place up to X resources on it as wishes to a maximum of the number of blessed tokens revealed, and remove Miracle Wish from the game. Evanescent Ascension is a ritual pact bless asset that takes up your spell slot. If it has no wishes, set it aside out of play. As a reaction, when an investigator location would fail a skill test, spend a wish and exhaust Evanescent Ascension, and resolve the Elder Sign effect instead.
So, okay, I have to ask a question.
Yeah.
Which religion is this? Because that's clearly the right one.
Yeah.
It's clearly the winning one.
I think this is the one that worships Wormadon for sure.
This is the Wormadon worshipping.
Yeah.
This is a really cool card. I would be interested to know how you could reliably get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, to trigger. With as many tokens as possible.
Yeah, because I think, like, realistically, if you do this, I think for 3, you're happy. But then you have to draw 3 blessed tokens in a test and have 3 resources when that happens.
Yeah.
I think that's just kind of the problem with it, is how reliable is it going to be.
Yeah, because you've got to have... So first off, you spent 5 experience.
Yeah.
Then you've got to have the 3 resources, and you've got to have that 3 blessed tokens come in. Maybe for a blessed deck, this is reliable enough to trigger, but...
I personally think that this card reads like a build-around, but what I personally think this card is you're going into the final scenario, and you're like, fuck it, I have 5 XP, I'm going to buy this, and I'm going to just get 2 Eucatastrophes, which is a card that turns a fail into an Elder Sign.
Yeah.
If that happens, you're probably happy. But like I think this card reads as a build around, but I think it's going to be a very unreliable when the time comes, right?
That's my biggest concern with it.
Yeah. Or maybe it's super reliable and you just like fucking break the game. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I will say is that it's also interesting that it's only when they fail a skill test.
Yeah.
So you could potentially spend 5 experience, 3 resources, 3 of your blessed tokens, and get nothing.
That is true. However, in that case, you've passed every test for the rest of the game, which is also pretty good.
But it's at your location.
That is true. So but I'm assuming, yeah. If you never fail your test, you're probably going to win, right? As long as one person never fails their test, you'll probably come across.
Oh, absolutely true. But it's just like...
It could just never trigger.
I could see this. I could see you popping this off, feeling like, yeah, this is going to be great, and then losing to Doom in the final scenario.
Because you spend so long getting your pieces together for your combo.
Yeah.
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 All right, Seeker. You've seen all these.
I have. We're getting into the science set, which I will, of course, give a free pass to after I judged Flurry of Blows.
So this is the unidentified card, which is a card you need to complete a quest and then upgrade. This one, you need to... this guy needs to have 3 growth on him, and then you can remove them as resources, and you've classified a new species. So it's Uncanny Growth. You can, as an action, put this into your hand. After the test resolves, place 1 resource on Myconid as a growth. For each point you succeed by. So the more you succeed by, the more growth you got. That's how you translate them. We'll get to his upgrades, because that's where things are a bit more interesting. But basically, this is you get to investigate for 1 resource, and for each point you succeed by, you get to add a growth to your mic in it. So that's what's important. We'll get back to him, though.
That's okay. Again, I'm really sorry. I judged the game for getting pulpy, but clearly all I needed was a giant aberrant flesh monster. I'm all in. I want to build around this card.
Yeah.
Is it unique? Damn, it is limit 1 per deck.
Yeah. It's because the upgrades are very powerful.
That's fair.
All right, we got 2 more double cards that I'm curious your thoughts on. So testing sprint. 1 cost, 2 actions to play. Investigate 1 at a time. Investigate your location and each connecting location once each in ascending order of Shroud until you either fail to investigate or successfully investigate each location.
I mean, really depends on the structure of the landscape you're in, but in a lot of scenarios, this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be very fun.
Yeah.
Is it good? I think so, but I think it's also very bad.
Yeah.
I think this is a very swingy card, and I think a lot of people are going to end up being too frustrated to play it.
I think that this card pays for itself if you succeed on 2 locations. But that requires you to have 2 locations that connect and 2 locations that connect that still have clues on them.
I would say that 2 is pretty reasonable. The resource cost is very low, and if it saves you move actions, like especially if those 2 locations aren't yours,
Yeah.
right? Or if you get 3, you're laughing.
Oh yeah, you're laughing all the way to the bank. But I will say that I think that especially in comparison to control variable, which reminds me of the curse options, you can do better.
Now, what if I told you how fun would this card be with Luke Robinson? You go into your dream gate and investigate every location.
That is the dream. That is the dream gate.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, but I can't see it for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to build around it.
You do.
I have a janky deck I'm building with it. I'm very excited to try.
I could see that.
Thorough Inquiry. So 2 cost, 2 actions. Investigators your location, draw a total of 5 cards. You decide how to draw.
Beautiful. I love this.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where I think in 2-player, I think this is like designed for 3 and 4-player.
A lot of these double actions seem to be.
Yeah. It's hard to like make the case for this in 2-player where actions are more intensive. But I mean, like 5 cards for 2 actions, 2 resources, that's a pretty good rate.
And especially because you get to divvy them up however you want. So if you're a support deck, or if you need to support someone else in the party, like how many times have one of us needed to draw a card?
Yep, and this is just a good way to do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Throw the book at them.
Yeah, this card's, it's not great, Russ.
Oh, this is bad.
All right. Hey, buddy.
I wish y'all could see this.
You gotta get away from the cables. Come on. Well, unfortunately, Julie is not gonna be home. She's getting groceries, but she's going to James's.
Oh.
So we have to keep watching you, buddy.
Yeah.
Throw the book at them. I don't think is that. I mean, I think it's funny, but unfortunately, I don't think there's too much you can do with it yet, especially in Seeker.
Yeah.
We need like a combat Seeker, and then I think it becomes really interesting.
Well, doesn't this turn that one lady who loves books?
Daisy, but she has I think like 1 fist. She might have 2 fist.
Yeah, so this is going to bring her to 5, maybe.
Yeah. Yes. That's the most common thing you can see her at. All right. Upgrades are really interesting. We got Gabriel Carrillo, the Trusted Confidant. 4 cost, 1 experience. Ally slot. Soaks for 2 and 1. You get +1 book. At the start of your turn, add a curse token to the Chaos bag. You probably would have wanted him in your Luke deck. Huh?
I love him. I also just love him as a card. Like,
yes.
Yeah, he's very expensive, but if you're a Chaos deck, this is so exciting.
I mean, notably, the 3 allies in Seeker that give you just base book with a upside all cost 4. So he's actually very competitively costed for
Sick.
that.
But he's also card draw.
Yep, he's card draw.
He's free card draw. He's free Chaos token. I like him.
Yeah, he's very powerful.
He's also got 2. I don't know how many soak everybody else has.
So he's the second one with 2/1, and that is notable for Seeker because they like damage soak more than horror soak.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. I like that.
Yep.
I like him.
All right, Steady Handed. This is a 2 cost, 1 experience card, limit 1 per investigator. As a reaction, when you succeed at a skill test, exhaust Steady Handed. You either succeed by 1 more or 1 less. If you succeed by exactly 2, heal 1 horror.
That's a fun card. You're going to have to build around it. But that is an absolutely adorable card.
I actually don't even know how much you need to build around it, right? Because, let's just say, for example, you just put this down. How much horror would it need to just passively heal for it to be worth it? And I think probably 3 or 4, right?
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna say I'm gonna say one funny thing about this. What if it didn't heal horror? Would you still want it?
No.
even if you could succeed by exactly one more or one less.
I mean, I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want it in a regular deck.
That's fair.
Right, but like in a deck like that's built around, because this thing's all about the amount you succeed by. That's an archetype here. It's really good, but I think even just the succeeding by exactly 2 to heal just passive horror is going to happen a lot.
That's fair.
And you're just like, whoa, 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 you know?
That's fair.
But in a combo deck where it's about like the science cards that care about how much you succeed by, this card's gonna, I think, really work. And I would run it in those decks without the heal the horror.
Yeah.
That's just gravy on top of it that makes it more playable
Yeah.
outside of that. Alright, you've seen this card. This one's kind of, it's not that, I mean, it's good, but it's kind of just like here, I think. After the skill test ends, add 1 curse token to the chaos bag for each one you succeeded by, or the performing investigator succeeded or failed by. So it's like a reverse promise of power if you remember that card.
It's like a,
It's like a, I think like a, honestly, this is actually probably a fair promise of power. I think promise of power was too strong, and this is like what promise of power is if it would be like a bit more balanced, I think. However, it also can be really good for curse decks to add a lot of curse tokens in.
Yeah, for one experience, I would absolutely run this as another curse generator.
Yeah, definitely. We got Confound. This is a 2-cost insight trick, parlay, 3 experience, by the way. Choose an enemy or location and test book X, where X is the chosen enemy's evade value. If you succeed, discover 2 clues of your location. Then, if the chosen enemy is non-elite, automatically evaded. It does not ready during the next upkeep phase.
It's good.
It's good.
It's really good.
It's just good, but it's like, it doesn't. I already know what's going on in Eric's head. It doesn't tickle the Johnny.
It doesn't.
No, it's just like, this is just...
It's just value.
Yeah.
The fact that it doesn't ready during the next upkeep phase is really good. It's the discover 2 clues.
Yeah.
But now I have a question about the phrasing. Then, if the chosen enemy is non-elite. So does that mean that only happens if you discover the 2 clues? So does this card kind of shut down a little bit if there's no clues at your location?
I think as long as you discover 1 clue, it works. But I actually need to check for if it cares about if it's done exactly, or if it's just game state.
Okay.
Here, 1 second. Let's look.
Because if it cares about the clues picking up, this is actually a much worse card.
Yeah, if you actually need to pick up both clues, it does make it like a bit more finicky then.
Must be successfully resolved.
So if the pre-then effect does it successfully resolve in full, the post-then effect must successfully be resolved in full. So you need to actually discover 2 clues. So it doesn't do the second part if there's 1 clue there.
Yeah. I don't like that.
That is actually notable. And I promise you, people are going to mess that up for sure.
100%. But I don't like it for that reason. Like, sure, test book to evade.
It's nice.
That's nice
to have.
I wouldn't pay 3 experience for it. But yeah.
Actually, yeah, you do need to. You need to. I actually never realized that until right now.
Yeah.
Interesting. Upgraded microscope is just like I don't know. Have I showed you the original?
You did.
0? Yeah. So basically, it's just better. It doesn't exhaust when an enemy is defeated or evaded, and you can now you get +2, and you can spend up to 3 evidence. So you can get 4 clues with it, which I think is really nice. It's a good upgrade. It does cost 4, but we're here for the plant. All right. So you get to turn into one of these 3 versions when you upgrade.
You don't get all 3?
No, you only get to do 1.
Okay.
So Sentient Strain, Russ, get out from behind there. All right, search your bonding cards for uncanny growth and add it to your hand. So you can do it once per round. You get it Lightning Bolt. Don't ever spend the action. When an investigator draws a non-weakness treachery card, if their location shroud is equal to or less than Ravenous Myconid's growth, cancel that treachery's effects and discard it. The Carnivorous Strain. Choose a non-elite enemy or location with equal or fewer remaining health than the amount of growth on Ravenous Myconid, and he defeats that enemy. And then we have the Nurturing Strain. Remove all growth from Ravenous Myconid. Either heal that much damage and horror from Ravenous Myconid, or remove that much damage and horror from investigators or ally assets to your control to Ravenous Myconid.
And look at that big beefy.
Yeah, he's a 3/3 for this one. He's a big boy.
I really want to build a Ravenous Myconid deck.
Yeah, he's a cool guy, isn't he?
He's bizarre, and this is okay. Again, I'm going to call myself out here. This is far more pulpy and ridiculous than Flurry of Blows. So Flurry of Blows gets a free pass.
It's like Flurry of Blows like, let's go. Yeah. I did it. I made it.
Because I want to play this Golgari growth monster.
Yeah. Is there one that interests you the most of the three?
How hard is it to get those growths out?
So, you get the Lightning Bolt to bonded cards, you can investigate, you get to put a growth on it for each point you succeed by. Mm-hmm. So in a Seeker deck where you're just like no-braining and put your book to like 8, pretty easy.
Pretty easy. I think what I want then is the anti-treachery one.
Yeah, the Sentient Strain?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The Carnivorous Strain could be fun, but so many enemies, especially later on into the game, get like X Investigator's number of health. Mm-hmm. And so the Carnivorous Strain's not going to be eating the things you're really worried about.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair.
As the healing one, I love that, but it's probably the worst.
It's probably the worst one, but it also is probably the one that is the least, requires the least like upkeep.
Exactly.
You know? You can just do it kind of passively.
But I would want to play around the Sentient Strain. Just to purposely try to proc as much value out of that, but that's really depends on Shroud location. So that's going to be a hot. That's going to be. But
also the other thing too is you remove all growth from him as well when you do it. You don't get it. You don't get to like bank it for lower Shroud locations, which I think is a nice balancing tool. There's a lot of people think this card is too strong. I personally. I view the Treachery deck a lot different. I actually don't think Treachery decks are that scary anymore. So I look at that like, why would I cancel it? Like when I can just like win other ways.
Just do better. I mean, arguably the funny thing too is that the Nurturing Strain does the same thing as the Sentient Strain.
Honestly, that is a huge brain take for sure, and I agree completely. They are kind of the exact same card. Except, yeah, this one also does it. I mean, this one also does it for any investigator, which I think is really nice.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like playing with a rogue on your troop. But I think what makes these is I just think they're fun.
Yeah.
I think they're fun.
I think they're great.
I think they're cool cards, and I'm excited to see how they play. But this one's the one I think is the strongest.
Oh, okay, very fair.
But that's just because I view enemies as scarier than treacheries.
That's fair.
Because with enemies, you need to, like, if you fail the test, they stay around. With treacheries, if you fail the test, you take 2 damage, and you're like, I'm going to move on with my life.
Yeah, that's fair. Actually, that's a very good point.
But, I mean, it all depends on also, like, the campaign you bring them to, yada, yada, yada. All right. Rogue. All right, Bianca Decatz. So she is a really interesting ally. I'm curious your thoughts on this. 2-cost asset, takes up the ally slot, 2-in-1 soak, limit 1 per deck, and she comes in with 10 resources on her for her uses. As an action, you can exhaust Bianca Decatz to parlay, move X resources from Bianca to your resource pool. X cannot be more than 5. Then test foot X. If you fail, remember you owe Bianca X resources, then search your bonded cards for the Bianca Decatz enemy and spawn at your location. Remove this card from the game. The enemy version, 3s across the boards, hits for 2, victory 0. Bearer only is an action. If you owe Bianca X resources, spend those resources and parlay to add her to the victory display. You can pay her back. And when she leaves play, except by the above ability, shuffle her into your deck.
That's the funniest thing ever. What a ridiculous card.
So,
you run away from her.
Yeah, you basically steal money from her and run. And she's like, okay, all right, you got away this time. You got to the door before I did. You get to keep my money, but next time, Skids, next time. Do you think I would have played this in my Skids deck? Probably not.
No, I don't ever see why I would play this card. I love it as a concept. Yeah. I really love it as a concept. But it's taking up a slot. Mm-hmm. I could just Faustian bargain for 1 chaos token.
2 curse tokens.
Yeah, sure. 2 curse tokens. And I never have to have this incredibly cool murderous lady show up.
What if, so this is the working theory that myself and others have, what if you are a parlay deck that wants an enemy in play all the time? And you kind of combo with that.
Yeah, because I guess you can parlay with her.
Yeah. And you can, like, if this is, like, an enemy or location. You need to do a lot of work to make sure she doesn't just fucking kill you.
Yeah.
But I think that I mean, like, yeah, if you're a high foot deck, like, if I was a big money deck and, like, I could easily pass 5 and get, like, 10 resources in 10 turns, that's pretty all right for level 0. But it's a lot of hoops to jump through. Oh,
to all you Preston decks out there, I hope you run this so that she kills you.
Yeah, she just kills you immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. If she was a lightning bolt, I think it would be more interesting. You know?
Yeah.
I think that could be kind of fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think
but she's very flavorful.
Yeah. I think the real thing to do with her is test the 5, get the money, avoid the foot, kill her.
Yeah, because you still get the money no matter what.
Yeah. Just take the 5, that initial 5, and then murder her so you don't have to do the second test.
And if you pass it, you're like, I'll do it again next turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's true. With the way she's written now, if she was a lightning bolt, I think you can make a case for drip feeding it. But because it's not a lightning bolt, I can agree with that in theory.
Yeah.
I have to see her in practice. But, I mean, like...
I would love to see a deck that builds around always having this criminal...
In play? Yeah.
In play. I would love to see that.
Just get some handcuffs and lock her up. Yeah. You could.
Just get her arrested after you steal her money.
Alright, you might not pog out of your gourd as much as I have for this card, but British Bulldog is probably one of my favorite cards in the set. 3-cost asset in the rogue class. Item, weapon, fire. Melissa takes up the hand slot. 3 ammo. Fight. You may use your foot instead of fist for this attack, and it deals +1 damage. And
this is everything we wanted the katana to be.
This is everything we wanted the katana to be in the rogue class, which just makes sense. Rogues have high foot. As a reaction, after you fail a skill test while parlaying with an enemy, put British Bulldog into play from your hand. So does that actually, yeah, so if you fail this, and she's like, you stole from me, and you're like, well, yeah, fuck you.
Okay, I love this card. This is probably my favorite gun in the game.
It's a good gun. It's a very well-designed card, I think. It's everything Rogue wants, and it has, like, some fun flavor text that might matter, but you also don't care if you pay this for 3. Like, it's perfectly on rate for playing it at 3.
I love the idea of foot instead of fist and +1 damage.
Yeah, and it's also a mace, so even if you have higher fist, you're just like, I'm going to just shoot you with a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real good.
All right, we've seen these two. Bank Job. I don't really think you've seen this one, but I think I did show you this one. 2-cost event, Bank Job. This is the double. As additional cost to play Bank Job, spend an action, investigate location, gain 8 resources, distributed as you wish.
That's good.
But it doesn't interest you as much as the card draw one.
No.
No.
It really doesn't. I mean, yeah, sure, you're gonna get 4 resources each. Like, that's not bad. Yeah. That's like playing 2... emergency caches.
Oh, emergency caches. Like, it is. Yeah, when it's all done, it's like playing 2 emergency caches.
It's like playing 2, and it's like playing 2 emergency caches and a slightly extra emergency cache that you ate a couple of the chocolate bars out of.
Yes.
So it's 2 instead of 3. Like, it's a good card.
Yeah.
I could see running this. Like, how many of this? Yeah, I could see. Oh no, it is literally 2 emergency cache because it costs 2.
2. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great value. Meh.
Yeah. I think that, like, if I was playing a big money deck, I would run this because I like 8 resources. Well, 6 resources is a lot at level 0, and you can upgrade out of it pretty easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's hard pressed when Faustian Bargain exists. But
if it was fast.
If it was fast and only cost, if it was only cost 1 action, then yeah. if it only cost 1 action, yeah, that'd be pretty sick. Fast as a district. However, there is. Let me just pull up a card.
Something's happening. I've done something. I've triggered the secret level.
All right, let's just scroll up to the top and let's look at this card called Fence.
Oh no.
So when you play an illicit card during your turn, exhausted, it gains fast. So this is an illicit card. You can do some janky ass stuff with this to do that.
I would like that. That would make this fun.
That would make it fun. Good? No, because we've never seen a good fence deck. People have tried, and it's always still just kind of exploded on us. But
okay, now just wait for my fence deck that runs 2 bank jobs instead of anything
let's go.
else.
That's your economy?
That's my
Oh
own.
God, no, please. All right, Stir the Pot. We've seen the level 5 version, but this is the level 0 version, which is actually, for the first time ever, I think, infinitely more playable than the level 5 version, and upgrading it, I think, is actually kind of just wrong. So this is just parlay. Here, I'll get to the other one first.
Yeah, remind me.
Which was parlay. Choose an enemy location and test book X, where X is the chosen enemy's combined damage and horror values. If you exceed, deal X damage to each enemy at your location. And now this effect resolves, you may disengage from each enemy and move to a connected location.
Okay.
5 experience, 3 cost. 4, 0 experience and 3 cost. It does the exact same thing, but it only deals 2 damage. And you only do the disengage if you succeed by 2 or more.
This is way better.
It's way better, because it doesn't cost you any experience.
Yeah.
It's just a storm of spirits. And if you're like, the disengage, I think, is kind of just flavor text because most enemies are going to be dead by then.
Well, yeah, and like, yeah.
Yeah.
This is much
wild.
better.
It's wild, isn't it?
I would run 2 of these instead of one of the other one.
Yeah. Okay. Did we talk about Vamp?
We did, talk about
So
Vamp.
should I show you upgraded Vamp?
No, I don't think
There's
so.
an upgraded Vamp.
Okay.
All right, Diabolical Luck. So this is a Fortune Curse skill that commits for a while. When you reveal a curse during a skill test you're performing, you may commit Diabolical Luck to the skill test from your hand. If you do, it gains 3 wild. So it's basically giving you +2 if you draw a curse token.
In a curse, in a
Curse
group
environment.
playing curse, I'd like that.
Hell yeah.
Otherwise, I don't care.
Hell yeah. That's kind of where
I'd rather run Promise of Power.
Yeah. Or just like, I don't know, anything.
Anything, yeah.
Yeah. Light-footed, it's pretty simple. I think it's just a good card, though. It's nice and basic. Foot, if it's successful during an evasion attempt, you may automatically evade another enemy or location. Just a nice, good, clean card.
Yeah, that's good.
Upgraded British Bulldog.
Oh, no.
2 experience. You get +2 skill value, and you ignore the aloof keyword for this attack, and it still has the same parlay text. So just like just a nice, common, good upgrade.
Just the best gun in the game.
Yeah, it's just really, really nice, yeah.
Just every time something's aloof, you're like, you're not aloof from bullets.
That is a very nice line of text. The ignoring aloof, yeah. Snitch, this card is just like good. 1 cost, 2 experience, fast play. If you succeed a skill test while parlaying, discover 2 total clues from among your location and connected locations.
See, this makes that other seeker power so much worse.
Yeah.
This is so much better.
So it is actually kind of funny because this is after you succeed is before that would trigger. So then you would be like, I guess I gotta discover 2 clues and there's only 1 left now and it doesn't actually trigger. It really has changed my perspective on that card a little bit.
I'm sorry to
I mean, I think the card is still good. I think the card is still good, but it's gonna be. I think now there's gonna be more times you're gonna be dead, and I don't want to play a 3 XP card to be dead.
Yeah.
You know. All right, Bewitching. This is a 3 cost talent trick. It's permanent and exceptional. Before you draw your opening hand, search your deck for up to 3 different trick cards and attach them face down to Bewitching and shuffle your deck. When you engage an enemy, you can exhaust Bewitching and either draw one of the attached cards, or search the top 9 cards of your deck for a copy of an attached card and draw it and shuffle your deck.
I don't understand. I don't understand this card. I'm sure it's great. It seems great. It seems like it does a lot of stuff, and it has deck draw, but I don't understand. I don't understand what I'm doing with this deck, and I love it.
So, yeah, basically, if you have 3 tricks you want to play,
yeah,
you attach them to Bewitching and take them out of your deck at the start of the game. Right?
Okay.
So now, when an enemy engages you, you can draw one of those at command, or if you have multiple in your deck, you could try to fish one out and take the shot at fishing it randomly.
Okay, that seems really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's basically just giving yourself a tutor ability, or just locking them up for future draws when you need them.
Okay, I like it. I like it.
All right. Dirty Deeds. 1 cost, 3 experience. This is the double card. So 2 actions. Search your deck for an illicit asset and play it, paying its cost. Then you may resolve an action or lightning bolt ability on that asset, ignoring all costs, including its action cost, if any. Playing this card does not provoke attacks of opportunity.
That is the part that's interesting.
The second part?
Yeah, the not provoking attacks of opportunity.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could just use this to, grab a gun.
Grab a gun and then shoot the gun.
Yeah, you get to find the gun, you get to play the gun, and you get to shoot the gun. So
this is great.
You get a bunch of juice for all that.
And with no attacks of opportunity, this is going to be a clutch that saves some people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just
when you're me and your baseball bat's broken and you're just like, oh.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you grab a frickin'
Bulldog.
Or even just, what if I just told you about this card? Bryn's gonna, I think, go wild with this Lupara. You spend on ammo, you fight, you get +1 fist and deal +1 damage to attack. If it entered play this turn, you get an additional +1 fist and deal additional +1 attack.
Incredible.
So you can just tutor that out of your deck and just...
Yeah, that's great. I love it.
Yeah.
I like this card.
Yeah,
Dirty
cool.
Deeds. Dirty Deeds is the first double card that I'm just like, every deck should run it if you're using weapons.
Yeah, I mean, I could agree for the most part. If you're if you're a green deck and you're playing illicit weapons, it'd be even just as a one of, right?
Well, yeah.
Not bad.
But think of it this way. It's so it's search your whole deck.
Yep.
So it's better than all those cards that are search the top 9, search the top 12. Then play it.
Yep.
So that's your 1 action bonus already. Then resolve one of the action, ignoring its cost. So if it's an ammo cost or anything like that,
Ignoring all costs. So yeah, it is a cost, so you wouldn't have to pay the ammo.
Yeah.
There was one that's similar, Triggerman. He has a similar wording, but you actually have to... Let's see, Triggerman. Because Triggerman says you without paying its action cost. So yeah, you get one free shot out of it as well.
So for 2 actions, I am fetching my weapon, playing my weapon, firing my weapon, and conserving one of my ammo resources. Boom. This is a great card.
So the only time I would say that when you wouldn't want to run it in all decks is if you don't have... Like, because I think, like... It's also depends on, like, what you're planning on doing with your weapons.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because if, like, the enemy... If you get a big enemy and you just have to spend 2 actions to, like, only take 1 shot and you can't kill it... However, you're a rogue, so you might be able to just evade the enemy after for the last action. Yeah. Right? Which I think is also pretty alright. I do think the card's very nice, though. I think it's a very powerful card.
I think it's a very good card.
All right, we got Vamp. This is the level 3 version. So choose an enemy location and any number of skills to parlay with them one at a time. Test each chosen skill for 2, and for each test you succeed. If it was a brain, remove a doom from that enemy. Book, discover a clue that enemy's location. Foot, automatically evade that enemy and move it to a connecting location. And Fist, deal 2 damage to that enemy. Just gotta do them all.
Yeah.
Hello, no doom. Those are all the things. Yeah, it's just a better version of the level 0 one. Yeah. Which is good because it's upgraded. That's normally how it works. Stir the pot.
Yeah, stir the pot.
You freaking idiot. And then we have the upgrade of fake credentials, where the last one, it starts at 1. And you get +1 difficulty for each suspicion on fake credentials. If you succeed, discover a clue and place 1 resource on it. If you fail, you must either discard the credentials or the enemy attacks you.
Yep.
This new version starts at 0. It gets +1 difficulty for each suspicion. If you succeed, discover clear location or connect location. If you do not succeed by 2 or more, place 1 resource on fake credentials and suspicion. If you fail, return it to your hand.
Oh, that's much better.
It's much better, yes.
That's, wow.
Yeah.
I want the first one just for this one.
The first one was very much like, I don't know why I would play this. And this one is like, oh, put it in me. Like, I want it in all my decks, please. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This is great.
Yeah. All right, Eric. Are you ready for my favorite card in the set?
Is it the devil?
It is the Rod of Carnamagos. The Scepter of the Mad Seer. This is a 2-cost asset, takes up the hand slot, limit 1 per deck. Item, Relic, Occult, Accursed, Lightning Bolt. Choose a non-enemy enemy at any location and exhaust the Rod of Carnamagos. Reveal 5 random Chaos tokens in the Chaos bag. If a Curse token is revealed, search your bonded cards for a random Rot event and attach to that enemy. You have 5 Rot events. Abyssal Curse, so it attaches to the enemy, and they all have a thing that changes the enemy. And when it leaves play, it goes back into your Rot deck. So, Abyssal Rot is an attached enemy cannot attack. Amber Rot is attached to enemies defeated, gain resources equal to its health to a maximum of 5. Putrescent Rot is they get -1 fight and -1 evade. Scarlet Rot is they take a damage at the end of the round. And then we have Virescent Rot, which is attached enemy cannot move. There he is.
Dear Carnamagos, please make more cards.
Yeah, please just keep... One second. I have a surprise for everyone at home.
Oh, is it Carnamagos?
I just gotta find it. It's not Carnamagos. Because we don't know who that is yet. But we do... Oh, I do have... Where is he? Oh, I just lost him again.
What's happening?
I have a bigger version of him.
Oh.
There he is. Dun dun. Play my rod and you will find victory. You will win the game of Arkham. My Abyssal Rot spell will kill the enemies.
I love this card.
I know, it's so fucking sick, isn't it?
It's almost as good as the devil. Yes. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a good representation of, like, chaos magic, too.
It
right?
is.
There's also an upgraded version, which we'll get to.
No, there can't be. It can't get better than this.
It actually does get incredibly better than this.
It's going to let you choose which one goes on.
It's going to let you choose, yeah.
No! Yeah. This shouldn't be allowed.
All right, we've seen all these cards. This card is awful, but we're going to read it anyway. Okay?
I want it to be great
I know.
It's a black hole.
Yeah, the art's sick and the name is sick, but the card's not good. So 2-cost event, Antediluvian Hymn. This is a double. So you have to spend 2 actions. Reveal the top 5 cards of the encounter deck. For each card revealed, you may add 1 curse token to the cast bag to place that card on the bottom, and return the rest to the top in any order.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's
If the game didn't shuffle the encounter deck so often, this would be great.
yeah. Well, I mean, also like if it didn't cost 2 actions. I don't think 2 actions is enough to stack because you're still drawing those cards, right? Yeah. It's just not great.
Yeah.
You've seen these ones; they're pretty basic. Mesmeric Influence.
Love that art.
Practiced. Well, this card is committed to a skill test. The performing investigator may ignore all keyword or location effects that would trigger during this test. So, like Haunted, for example, in the Circle Undone, as we are currently experiencing.
That's wild.
That's a cool card. I think
That's
it's a cool
really
card.
good card. Oh no, here he is again.
So yeah, so it's choose an online man and reveal 5 random chaos tokens. For each curse token revealed, you get to search and add a rot to them. So there's also something that I think is gonna unfortunately get ruled against this because it kind of breaks some stuff open, but I think it should stay because I think it's fun and you should just, if people want to break the game with it, let them break the game with it. You can review this during a skill test, which means that, for example, Armageddon, for each curse token revealed during this attack, you may deal 1 damage to an enemy or location. And this skill test, you can do it during the attack because it's a lightning bolt to reveal those to do Armageddon. However, if we even go deeper, there is cards like, for example, Sixth Sense, which if one of those were revealed during this test, which means you can use the Rod of Karna Magos to do some janky-ass shit with that, and by janky I mean broken, but like it's still kind of fun because all I want to do is there's this card that's really bad that I want to play and actually try to make work legitimately, which is this awful card, Song of the Dead. Spend a charge, fight. This uses Brain instead of Fist. You get +1 Brain for this attack. If a skull symbol is revealed during this attack, it deals +2 damage. Otherwise, it just deals 1 damage. Just let me have my Song of the Dead fun with the Rod of Karna Magos for a bit. That's all I want to do.
Just try and proc the...
Song of the Dead, just do that. But I understand that they do change it, but I don't think they should. If people want to break the game with them, let them, because it's kind of like, it's a co-op game. So, like, it's going to be boring for them after a time.
Or it won't be.
Or it won't be, and it'll be great the whole time.
Yeah, they'll just have a great time. How dare they have a great time?
How dare they? Call the Beyond. Additional cost to play Call the Beyond. Add 3 curse tokens to the Chaos Bag. Did you notice this? What did you... Oh, who did you send the kiss to? This one?
Yeah, as an additional cost, do better.
Yeah. Add 3 curse tokens to the Chaos Bag. Choose an asset you control with uses charges, uses secrets. Replenish all that asset's charges or secrets. Then, you may resolve an action or lightning bolt ability on the asset without paying its cost, if any. More spell.
Holy cow, that's a good card.
More secrets. It is also level 2, though, so some Seekers can also take advantage of this card really well as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool card.
And, I mean, again, this is actually really worth it, even if you're not running a Chaos... a
curse deck,
A curse deck.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that's great.
I like that it allows you to also take the action with it. I think that makes it, like super duper playable.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, this one you will have to pay the charge that you just added on.
Yes, you will. So you'll
unlike the other one.
Yes.
The super gun.
The super gun?
The super draw gun.
The Dirty Deeds, yeah.
Yeah.
I only remember the name because of the song. Dirty Deeds and the don't cheap. Okay. You remember these cards. Read Ethereal Form, Read the Signs, and Spectral Razor?
Yeah.
They all have an upgraded version, where now if a symbol was revealed, they return to your hand at the end of the turn.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, nice and simple. Works really well with the Rod of Karna Magos, because if you do the Lightning Bolt shit, you can just, really jank the game out.
Yeah, do it. Jank
Just
it.
cheese it a little bit.
Yeah, just a little.
We have Ethereal Weaving. 1 cost, 3 experience. Additional cost to play Ethereal Weaving, spend an action. Reveal up to 3 different spell events from your hand, 1 at a time. Play each revealed event, reducing its cost. Oh, you have to go to the bathroom, Ross? There you go. Additional cost, reveal 1 at a time. Play each revealed event, reducing its cost by 1. While resolving each of these events, you get +2 skill value.
Okay, that's really fun.
It's very fun. There's a lot of contention on if it's actually good. I think in a spell slinging deck, it's really good. Like if you're playing Parallel Agnes in specific, she cares all about slinging spells.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be interested in a version of this where it doesn't actually also play the cards.
Yes.
Like it doesn't actually play the card. You resolve the card, but it doesn't get discarded.
I would like to see that too.
And they return to your hand at the end of the round.
Yeah, because ideally, you want to at least play 2.
Yeah, because if you're playing 2, you're doing this, you're getting them cheaper, but only one of them is cheaper because you still have to pay one for this.
But you are getting the +4 skill value.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah, like 2 is, and I guess the question is how long are you going to sit on this? And 3 different cards is where it all comes into play. Right?
Exactly.
I think the card's fun though, and I'm going to definitely try it out in Parallel Agnes.
Yeah. My biggest problem, mostly honestly, is that this means you'd need at least 3 cards in your hand.
Yes.
To really get the value out of it.
4 including this. If you want to do all 3.
Yeah, if you want to do all 3, that's your whole hand.
Yeah.
Which, hey.
I mean, I think it's possible. I've done it. I've had that situation as a Mystic before. Like in my Parallel Agnes deck, it's actually incredibly common.
Yeah.
So I think in that deck it's going to be good.
Perfect.
But if the question is how long does that translate to other people?
Yeah.
All right, Eric, you ready us to use more Dark Mythos power for our biddings?
I've come around to it.
At least it makes sense in the Mystic class, I think.
You know what? Carnamagos has changed my mind. Oh, no.
All right. Seal of the Elders. This is a 0-cost event. Spell-backed Bless Curse. Fast. Play after a skill dislocation ends in which at least 2 Bless or 2 Curse tokens are revealed. If 2 Curse tokens are revealed, search your bonded cards for 1 copy of Servant of Brass and put it into play. If 2 Bless tokens are revealed, search your bonded cards for the Keeper of the Key and put it into play. If 2 Bless or 2 Curse tokens are revealed, do both instead, and then remove Seal of the Elder Signs from the game. So, Keeper of the Key, the Celestial Ward, soaks for 4 horror. When a Blessed token is revealed during a skill test or location, deal 1 horror to Keeper of the Key and discover clue your location or connecting location. When he would be leave play, set it aside out of play. And the Servant of Brass, when a Curse token is revealed, you can deal 1 damage to him to deal 2 damage to an enemy location or connecting location. When he would leave play, he soaks for 4.
This is so good.
It's fun.
It's so fun. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah. Are you a Key or Brass lover?
I mean, Key is better, I think.
I mean, just the art.
Oh. Brass.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
The Demonic Vassal? The Demonic Vassal. Sorry, there's another A in there.
Yeah, so many A's.
Yeah.
Actually, interestingly enough, Servant of Brass is probably better because if you consider it, it's got more than double the number of A's in its name.
That is true.
It's got 5.
It's got 5.
5 to 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I think both are good, right? I think it really just, obviously, if you're a Paradox deck, which is the deck that uses Bless and Curse, you're aiming to get both of them at once. If you get both of them at once, you're, happy.
Yeah.
If you are a Curse deck, dealing extra damage for your Curses is really nice. If you're a Bless deck, getting extra clues is really nice.
Yeah. It's absolutely ridiculous as a card, but I do love it. But it's very silly.
Yeah.
Also, the sheer amount of soak on these things.
Yeah.
I get that they might not come out, and so, A, they might not come out so you want them, and B, you might not ever draw another token at the right time, so it wouldn't be worth it, so you want to have some sort of value out of them.
Yeah.
But goodness, and the fact that they don't take up an ally slot is great, too.
Yeah, I mean, I want to try to get 4. I want to try to get them both out at once. Yeah. Russ? Why are you meowing? All right, Survivor.
Oh.
You haven't seen this card.
Nope.
Matchbox, 1 cost, 3 supplies. If it has no supplies, discard it. Lightning Bolt during an investigator's turn. Exhaust Matchbox and spend a supply. Your location gets -1 Shroud until the end of the turn.
Seems good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Survivors, I think, have just got the strongest cards of the expansion at level 0. They have some very powerful stuff.
The Devil.
He's level 2.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because there's 2 devils. The devil in me and the devil in you. Have you seen these cards, Pitchfork? I don't know if you've seen Pelt Shipment.
I did see Pelt Shipment, yeah.
All right. Actually, most of these cards have already been spoiled. Advanced, there's actually not a lot of Survivor cards. Elaborate Distraction. 3-cost event. This is a double. Additional cost, play Elaborate Distraction, spend an action. Playing it does not provoke attacks of opportunity. For each enemy at your location for each enemy at your location and each connecting location, choose 1. Automatically evade that enemy if it's non-elite, or deal 1 damage to that enemy.
That's a good card. It's extremely situational. But if you know your deck, you know when you're going to need it.
Yeah.
The ability to evade enemies at connecting locations is really fun. And the ability to deal damage to some of them and to others.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this actually would have helped. Sorry, I actually don't know. I don't want to go into too much details because the episode might not be out. But this would have helped us a good number of times today.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think even just the 1 damage, and you just if you kill an Acolyte or 2 with this, you're laughing. You're like, I'm God, and they are dead.
Especially if they've got doom counters on them or anything, you feel like you've just earned back 2 turns.
Yep, exactly. And you only have to spend 2 actions needing to move there or kill anybody.
Yeah.
Even though they're super easy to kill, not having to move to kill them is very tempo positive.
Yeah.
All right. Brick.
Stall for time. That's a ridiculous card.
The art?
Yeah.
Yeah. Parlay, so choose an enemy location and test brain X, where X is the chosen enemy's fight or evade value, whichever is lower. So it's probably going to be 2 for the most part.
Yeah.
If not, if you succeed, exhaust the chosen enemy, but do not disengage from it. If it is non-elite, it does not ready during the next upkeep phase. If you fail, return stall for time to your hand.
That's good.
Yeah, it's a cool card.
I like it.
Hey, Russ. Want to show your butt to everybody on the internet? Hi. Yeah, we haven't forgot about you. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't like evading. I'd rather kill an enemy.
Yeah.
But still.
I like that it's...
It has homes.
It also does not ready during the next upkeep
Oh, yeah,
phase.
no, freeze... So, like, that's actually the reason why I don't like evading, is because freeze effects, like, weren't here from the start of the game.
Yeah.
Freeze effects, which I shorthand call when they don't ready during the next turn, are so much powerful than evade an additional enemy.
Yeah.
Because you're not often in a situation where you have 2 enemies, and usually if you are, it means something has gone wrong, right?
Speaking from experience.
Oh, I've been there. Remember parallel skids in the final scenario of Forgotten Age?
Yes.
No, thank you. Never want to be there again. Wrong place, right time. I think might be our last double card. Nope, that's a lie. 0 cost event. As you cost to play it, spend an action. Move up to 5 damage and or horror from your investigator to assets controlled by investigators at your location. For each asset defeated by this effect, draw 1 card and remove wrong place, right time from the game. Yes! I agree.
I don't want to play that.
Do you want to know why I don't want to play it?
Why?
Because I was talking about this one recently on stream. What's the point of soak? To take damage for you.
Yeah.
This is just like a complicated way of having your soak for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and then drawing a card.
Like, drawing the card is nice, but, like, just run card draw.
Yeah.
I think this is, like, an okay one-of in decks, like... I mean, I could run this as a one-of in Will York. I could run this as a one-of in Hank Sampson. I could run this as a one-of in, like, Daniela. Tommy, I think... Hey.
Yeah.
Russ, don't. Don't kick out Eric's guts. Don't kick out Eric's guts.
Again, Russ. Hey, bud. Here, you can have my elbow. Oh, yeah, there you go. Have the elbow. It's tough.
And like Tommy Muldoon, who gets rewarded if his assets get defeated with income as well.
Yeah.
I think that's like where it has a home. But other than that, I don't think the effect is particularly
And even
exciting.
then, you gotta have it there.
Yeah, you have to have it there.
Yeah.
But luckily, it does commit for great symbols.
Yeah.
So like, it's not too hard to do as a one-of. Hey, Russ.
I'm making him fight me.
We're a happy family, not a violent family. Come sit on me.
He's like, but I've drawn blood.
Don't make me bring Carnamagos back. There he is.
There he is.
All right. Have you seen Hatchet?
I have, yes.
Okay. And you've seen Devil?
Yeah.
We love Devil. You've
We love
seen Persistence?
Devil, yeah.
All right, these 2 cards aren't that exciting, IMO. These are upgraded cards that already exist in the game.
Yeah.
They basically just, like, this fast is, like, the only change for this one, really, and, like, 1 extra fist icon. Mm-hmm. So I don't even want to talk about it. It just makes me too sad, because I love the Fire Axe, but the upgraded version, I was just like, oh, that's it? This one's pretty interesting. Exhaust Mariner's Compass, investigate. If you fail, ready Mariner's Compass. If you succeed and have no resources in your resource pool, discover an additional clue.
Oh, nice.
And this is, if it fails, you gotta ready it. That's the big change. And it's also 1 cheaper. I think it is a nice upgrade, and I think it's actually kind of like pretty alright for that.
That's a very cool idea.
Hunting Jacket, I think, is a nice upgrade. Is a nice card. 2 cost, 2 experience. Item clothing takes up the body slot. As a land able to exhaust Hunting Jacket and choose 1 non-weakness card in your hand and attach it face down to Hunting Jacket. Max 3 cards attached. Then, gain 1 resource for each attached card. And when it's defeated, you get to draw each attached card.
That's really fun.
Yeah, you gotta just turn your cards into...
a jacket, and then turn your jacket into money, and then turn your money into the cards you want to play.
Yeah.
Plus, it's got great soak. Great soak for 2.
It does seem really good in, like, Will York, but, like, what frickin' isn't? That is a red card that soaks for you. There's currently, right now, they ruled recently, much to the chagrin of Travis, there's a card called Diana Esperance. Diana Esperance. So you can attach one event to her. Limit one event attached to her. They recently ruled that you can attach a different event to her and then choose which one stays. Which, to me, doesn't really fit with the limit one attached to her, because you can attach two. So now, with that ruling, you actually can, like, keep attaching cards and just keep getting emergency caches and then discard one from it each time. So I imagine they're going to roll back that ruling a little bit.
That's fair.
Did we talk about this card?
We did. No, we didn't.
All right, this card I think is it's the most interesting card in the set because it opens up an entirely new archetype with a brand new card. So, it's an existing archetype, but it makes that archetype more whole. So survival technique, 2 cost, 2 experience. Lightning bolt, choose a card you own that's attached to your location and exhaust survival technique. Add that card to your hand.
I love that.
Lightning bolt, during a skill test on a location or on a treachery attached to your location, exhaust survival technique, you get +2 skill value for this test.
This is really good.
It's really neat.
It's really neat. I actually love that it allows you to bounce back items that are spent out.
Yes. Yep. And also, well, not items, because they have to be attached to your location. So It doesn't return that, but like there's a card, for example, called Map the Area, which you attach to your location and reduce the difficulty of all tests by 1, and you can bounce that back to your hand.
That's really fun.
There's also stuff like, for example... one second. Let's find a good one. Like, let's just look at ambush. So this whole archetype, attach location. If there are no investigators attached location, discard ambush. After an enemy spawns attached location, deal 2 damage to that enemy. If no enemies were drawn and you're like, okay, I'm going to move somewhere else finally, you can actually bring this back with you.
That's
and go
really fun. I actually really want to play this archetype.
It's a cool archetype.
That's really fun.
And also, one thing I actually recently learned is that this also is so this +2 skill value works for stuff like lock door, right? And treachery on a location. But it also works for a basic investigate action because that's a test on a location. If you just basic investigate.
Oh, that's really fun.
Yeah,
this is really a very flexible card.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool card for sure. This is an upgraded version of Keep Faith, which costs 2, but now it costs 0. Okay. I think it's a fine upgrade, especially if you want Bless tokens.
Yeah.
But I think it's really nice, especially because a lot of people who play Keep Faith also will play like Down the Rabbit Hole, which will make it cheaper. I think we've done this one. Have we done this one?
Yes.
And we have Dark Horse. So this is a build around that's been in the game since the first expansion. Where it's just, if you have no resources, you get +1 to all your skills. You don't have to gain it during the upkeep. They've just made it permanent, which is going to make the decks a lot more consistent.
That's fun.
Yep.
I really like that. I would build around that now.
All right, and we have just a few neutral cards.
Ooh.
All right, Eldritch Tongue, 2 cost event, 4 charges. You may play events with Parlay from your discard piles if they were in your hand. It's just a cost to play that event, spend 1 charge from Eldritch Tongue, and you remove it from the game.
Okay, that's pretty solid.
Yeah, I think it's a nice card because what I really like about it as well, Russ, you got so much hair everywhere, is that it, I think it opens up Parlay to investigators outside of Alessandra. Right?
Yeah.
Because Alessandra's whole thing about Parlay is that she gets an additional action and she can play all of them, but then, like, why would I play Parlay on anyone else? And this kind of gives you a reason to, right? Because you can play your Parlay events. Rosie giving kisses? Good boy. See? No violence.
This is the best double action.
Yeah?
That's been written.
Bide your tongue? Bide your time? 0 cost event. Does it cost to play Bide your time, spend an action. During your next turn, you may take 2 additional actions. Why do you like it so much?
Because if you're ever in a position where you don't have 2 actions that you want to take, or you're in a good position, or you're about to advance the deck, and you know that something big is going to happen, like, this is tech to help you mess with when you flip cards. Yeah,
I could definitely see it. I'm not as high as you are. Mostly just because I don't think the game is usually kind enough to give you those moments where it's great. However, with that said, to your point, it does come in for a while. So even then, like, baseline, it's just like one of those.
Yeah.
I don't think you can run it in a Clover deck because your time is so valuable. But in a Goon deck, I think you could.
In a Goon deck, in a Flex deck, this could be a lot of fun.
I think Flexes are still a bit too active, too.
Okay,
but you could.
Fair.
I think you could. Yeah. I'm not saying no, but I think you definitely could. Especially on, like, depending on the Flex deck. But I do also think that a lot of time goons are going to use this, and then they're going to, like, nothing's going to happen, and then, like, I guess I'll just draw 2 cards. I could be entirely wrong. I could be entirely wrong.
But for me, this is a tech deck because you have this in your hand, and you're the goon character, and you're like, okay, I know when we flip the card, the
boss is coming.
The boss is coming. I'm gonna... Everyone hold up. I'm gonna ready the
yes.
I'm gonna set myself up for these actions.
I think that as like I think like that is definitely the best use case for it, and I think that is like a pretty good. If you can do that consistently, I think the card is definitely worth it in your deck for sure.
Yeah.
I think though you wouldn't want to. I personally want to bring this to a blind campaign. I wouldn't want to.
No.
But if I know a campaign, I agree completely. I think that's a great use case for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well dressed. Well, it's committed to a skill test during a parlay action. It gains 3 wild. So it's a 4 wild.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a parlay deck, go for it. If you're not, don't use this.
Notably, it's also good campaign tech because like some campaigns care about parlaying.
True.
So you can use that for those.
That's fair.
Yeah. All right. Dawn Star. Fast. 1 cost event. 1 experience. Play after revealing chaos tokens during a skill test your location. Ignore the modifiers of each curse token revealed during this test. For each curse token ignored, deal 1 damage to an enemy at your location.
That's really fun.
I also think this card's really cool.
That's very fun.
I think the card, it's basically a lucky, because it gives you +2, but also just like being able to nuke a few enemies. I really like the effect.
And it's very much fun in a Blasphemous Covenant deck.
Was that his tongue on the...
That was his tongue on the table.
It was so loud.
It was like sandpaper on sandpaper.
It was really loud.
Yeah.
What the hell, Russ? It's scary. I was like, what is happening?
Just rats coming out from me.
Oh. All right. Occult Reliquary, 3 costs, 3 experience, permanent limit 1 per deck. You have 1 additional hand or accessory arcane slot, which can only be used to hold a blessed or cursed asset.
I love that.
Like, for example...
the Rod of Carnimagos.
Did someone say... Carnimagos?
Oh, no. It's me.
Alright. Yeah, it's a good card.
Yeah.
It's good. It has no downside.
It's literally good.
Which seems like, so like, honestly, it feels like it should, right? Because dubious source, the price is but a pittance for what you will gain, and it's a pact.
It's
but I feel
experience.
like there's no downside.
That's your cost.
Oh! Alright. I mean, that is true. The price is but a pittance for what you will gain. They're not even fucking
They're
around
not even lying. They're like, take this card.
Alright, and we have 1 final mask.
Ooh.
A neutral mask. 5 experience, 1 cost. Crown of Dying Light. The Broken Diadem. Item charm mask, limit 1 per deck, limit 1 mask per investigator. After a skill test, your location ends in which both a blessed and curse token are revealed. As a reaction, you can place 1 resource on this card as an offering. Then, if there are 3 offerings on this card, switch your bonded cards for Twilight Diadem and swap it with this card, moving all offerings to the diadem. Twilight Diadem. Limit 1 mask per investigator. When you reveal either a blessed or cursed token during a skill test, spend 1 offering and exhaust this card. Treat the revealed token as an Elder Sign instead, return it to the Chaos Bag. Then, if this has no offerings, switch it back to the broken version.
Such a good card. Holy cow, I want to run this in a curse deck again.
You need to be blessed and cursed, because you need to reveal both tokens.
Oh.
So it's like specifically for like a paradoxical deck.
That's still so good.
I mean, I would be 100% down to run, because especially when you and I do Dream Eaters, we each need to build 2 decks.
Yeah.
So I'd be down to do like go like hard on Blessed Curse with some of these new cards, because I'll have them by then.
I love it.
I think that would be really
That's
fun.
such a wild card. I really like it.
I think it's going to be not too hard to trigger as well. In the paradoxical deck, I think like that's going to be something that is very doable.
To me, this is a better version of that other card that lets you just treat fails as...
The Miracle Wish, yes.
Yeah.
I do agree for the most part. I think they're like, they live in different decks, but I do generally agree with that sentiment. I think it's just because I think it's just like less work.
Yeah.
You need to sit on less, right? Like you just play this.
And then just wait.
And just wait, yeah, and it'll happen.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like loading the bags up with blesses and curses. All right, Eric, what do you think? This is your first time a new expansion is coming out. What do you think of the cards? Do you dig them?
I dig them. I dig them. I do think I'm seeing. I guess my concern is not so much power creep as it is thematic creep. It does, and I mean, I know they're leaning into the pulp, but it does feel like we are really moving away from you being normal people investigating the occult and into occult versus occult.
Yeah, and actually it's funny because the one class that is that's like the normal people. I think it's this one, the the Survivor, because they're still just the normal people who are like, you know, playing with a pitchfork and stuff. But I agree. The flavor on the Mystics and Guardians and the Seekers are kind of like, it's a little bit Pulp City.
It is. And again, I can't judge because I'm looking at that Ravenous Myconid and I know I've been spoken to, I've been seen.
Yeah.
But I will say that I'm really excited for all of these cards. Because I feel like what they are doing is they're filling some gaps in what you've already talked about with me and what you've already taught me when it comes to investigators. I'm not skilled enough like you are to see this and be like, okay, there's a whole new deck to build here. But I'm looking at this and going, this is weird. This is exciting. This is, I see cards that I wanted to play in other decks.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, that's kind of like this thing too, because like right now to you, actually, like the majority of the cards are still brand new.
Yeah.
Right? Like to me, I've been waiting for a year for new cards. Actually, even longer, right? But like for you, it's like it's always new, but it's still fun to get you involved in like this new stuff and you can see the cards. Is Devil still your favorite?
Devil is still my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll do some fun stuff building with these cards for sure.
Yeah.
With all that said, everyone at home, what are your favorite cards from this expansion? Let us know down in the comments, and I hope you enjoyed Eric and I discussing all these cards. There won't be another one of these until the next expansion comes out, which apparently is going to be mobster themed, which I'm pretty excited about.
Oh, that's fun. I'm really excited to see that.
There's a lot of cool stuff with the mobsters that they've done previously in Arkham. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one, and as always, GG's.